This is the Slow Wardrobe. Come and have a look. Hello, welcome to episode 104 of the Slow Wardrobe podcast. My name is Linda and I'm your host. In this episode, I will give you a relatively short update on my knitting and crochet antics. Well, it's just knitting antics this time. I haven't crocheted anything in the past 2 weeks. I've just been working religiously on my West Knits mystery knit along, the Geo Gradients. And I follow that because it's a relatively short section with a little plug for one of my favorite independent makers and show you what she's up to. And then we're into Layercake as always, where I am introducing and styling the new colours of the Playsuits for this autumn. But first, knitting. So, like I said, just been working on the West Knits Mystery Knit Along, Geo Gradients. Before I will show you my progress there, I will also show you the project that I'm absolutely dying to get back to. This was my about 2/3 completed version of the mini scout shawl. Details here below. This is as far as I got. And then the West Knits Mystery Knit Along very rudely scuppered my progress because I like sticking with trying to keep up with the clues, which I've done. I'm not sure I'm going to make it in this last week, but boy oh boy is that last clue an uphill struggle. But more about that in a second. So I have abandoned this cute little shawlette, which is even smaller than the normal mini scout, because rather than knitting the mini scout in 4-ply, which is what the pattern is written for, I'm knitting it in lace weight. So the needles that I'm working with are smaller as well. I'm working on 2.5mm needles, and I'm using 5 of the 6 last remaining colors that I still have a little bit of stock of the Artisan Yarns Queen Anne's lace. I love how they work together, and I'm very pleased with the progress so far. I'm trying to keep my backs really neat. As you can see, I've got some ends to weave in, but very small short floats. I keep them as short as I can on purpose, so that when I'm wearing the shawl and the back shows, I'm not constantly conscious of big loops sticking out. So I'm hopefully getting back to that this coming week, but it all depends on how long I take to finish the mystery knit along. I will pull that out of the bag now and show you. So if you're still at the stage where you don't want to see what the different clues look like and what the ultimate result is going to look like, then look away now, and I'll put, just before you do, I'll put the timestamp here below of what time you need to scroll forward to in order to miss this next section. But here we go with my version of the Geo Gradients. As you may remember from what I've said before, I am working with 2 strands of yarn held together. 1 strand of my linen 3-ply and 1 strand of Fiber Space Cumulus, and I really love the resulting fabric. It has quite a sturdiness to it, which of course is what the linen provides, and then the bloom of the Fiber Space almost gives the resulting fabric a slightly felted effect, and I think it is because the bloom of the alpaca in Fiber Space Cumulus ends up rubbing into the linen, and it does almost a slight fulling or a slight felting. I think it's also partially due to the fact that I'm working on a relatively small needle. I have done clues 1 through 3 on a 3mm needle because my gauge was really far off, and I didn't want to, I was assuming that we were going to get another huge shawl, so I didn't want to make it any bigger than it was supposed to be. So that also makes my fabric a bit more sturdy and a bit more robust. Add to that then that my first clue, I decided to do a monster of a granny square in the center, and the fact that clue 3 is quite a lot of contains quite a lot of stitches with floats in front of them, which creates a thicker fabric. And then clue 4 has the same thing going on. Again, big floats, both front and back of the work. So it makes for a very thick, squishy fabric. So in retrospect, I probably could have gone up needle sizes and it would have been fine. But of course, I didn't know that yet at the time. And at least my knitting ended up fitting nicely with the gauge that I achieved on my crocheted center. So clues number 1 through 3 are knitted on a 3mm needle, and I've gone up 1 size to a 3¼ for clue number 4. And I'm only 2 stripes into clue number 4. I will show you a photograph of my progress in more detail here for photographs. So, because I don't know how much of an impression you get if I hold it up. As you can see, it's a triangle, and my wonky bottom, my wonky edging, I should say, of the shawl is caused, of course, by the fact that you do a lot of increases and decreases of stitches as you move along the edge. Now, I could choose to make this edge a lot narrower. You can stop really after every color repeat. But the samples that I've seen, I really love the proportions of the shawl when that border is quite wide. So that means I'm signing myself up to a lot of work. It takes me, I think, a couple of hours to do the row that includes the looped stitches that make the triangles. Those looped stitches, you end up picking up yarn along your left hand needle and down a number of rows. So as a result, that is a very slow process. So just one of those rows creates that triangle, and then you knit the following 5 rows, and then you do another pick up of stitches row. And the returning row of the one where you pick up stitches, which is when you've doubled your number of stitches on the needle, you knit those together again to come back to your original number. But you knit them back twisted, and it's a twisted purl. So that's a slow row as well. And despite the fact that I consider myself a very experienced knitter, this is not fast. This is slow going. So for the sake of the look of the shawl, I think I'll keep going, unless I completely lose heart and decide 1 or 2 more rows from here that I'm chucking in the towel and casting off. There is then the option to add tassels to the shawl, and the tassels that I've seen are more like fringes of combined colors. I don't like that look at all, because throughout the shawl my colors are kept really separate, and then of course all of a sudden those fringes are combined colors. So instead of fringes, I'm going to put little tassels along my shawl, and I'm going to make those tassels one single color, maybe bind them off with a contrasting color, but I'm not going to mix my threads to use up my yarn that way. So that's as far as I got. That's as far as I am. The stitch used in clue 3, I think, is absolutely stunning, and I'm really pleased with the fact that my darkest and lightest color have so much contrast in them because that really showcases the effect that that stitch, again, that feathery look is created with slipped stitches and thread being held in front of the yarn. I love the effect. I think it's beautiful. But it's quite a chunky shawl. It's going to be especially for me who always tend to go thinner, thinner, thinner. This is quite heavy. So we'll see how we go with it. I hope that I know for a fact that I have some colors in my Layercake garments that go beautifully with these, especially this new dark purple. It's coming, not this week, but it's coming. A proper dark aubergine. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead. This is where I'm at so far. My West Knits Mystery Knit Along update. Let me tuck that away. Right, so before diving into the little maker section, the next section, I hope I'm going to get some decent knitting time in this coming week to hopefully finish my mystery shawl and get back to my beloved little Scout Mini. And the reason I'm hoping to get some extra knitting time in is that those of you who are loyal viewers of the podcast know that once a year my husband and I try and get away for a week to the Scottish borders to fish on the River Tweed. And this year that is all happening a little bit later. So we're going this coming weekend, and that means that next week I'll be away from the studio for a week. I'll have the week off and hopefully some extra knitting time. Since we're going to be at the Scottish borders again and the River Tweed, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for some decent weather, and I will in the next podcast be able to show you a little bit of Scottish borders footage again, hopefully, and maybe even feature some upcoming layer cakes along the side of the river border, like I've done in the past 2 years. We'll try and repeat that exercise. It's so much fun. So keep your fingers crossed for me for some decent weather for that. But I'm racing ahead as per usual. Let me rein back to today's episode, and let's have a quick look and a quick chat about a new jewelry maker that I connected with fairly recently, and it was through Layercake that we made the first connection. Here we go. So yes, the maker that I want to introduce to you is a jewelry maker called Mojo and the Maker. That's the name of the brand. And the lady behind the jewelry is a lovely lady called Sarah Jane, who very recently fell in love, I'm talking last couple of months, fell in love with Layercake. And Layercake suits her shape and suits her lifestyle so well. So she's delighted to be adding Layercakes to her wardrobe. And then in conversation with her, I found out that she's a jewelry maker. And I'm actually wearing one of her pieces now. She very recently had these beautiful pearl necklaces on pre-order. Of course, I couldn't help myself. They are so stunning. You got to choose your own pearl to be used on the necklace, and this is the one I chose. And I think the pre-order is going to be sent out next week when I'm away. So Sarah Jane very kindly pulled the shipment and possibly the production. I don't know. She pulled out all the stops, but she managed to get this to me just before I leave for the Scottish border, so I'll be able to take it with me. And her workmanship is superb. She's got a wonderful taste for really, really nice, sweet pieces. I actually have one other necklace of hers that I bought very recently online as well. I forgot to bring it with me, proudly wearing this one. But I'll show you a picture of the other one that I recently bought, and the text on the circle that you see, that the ring, that the bigger ring, that the tiny little heart is hanging off, is saying hopeless romantic, which I think is so sweet. So it's a silver necklace. It's slightly shorter than this one, and I have never ever received so many compliments on a piece of jewelry that I started to wear. All the guys at my house, both of my sons and my husband, said, "Oh, what are you wearing? That's really nice." And they never ever notice anything new. So that's quite telling in itself. But here are some other photographs of pieces that I just spotted on Sarah Jane's website, and that I thought I'd show you here. But give her a look. Her prices are very, very reasonable, and her work is stunning. So yeah, have a look at Mojo and the Maker, and enjoy the work that Sarah Jane makes, especially of course going into the last couple of months of the year. They make lovely gifts either to oneself or to somebody else. So yeah, can't praise her work highly enough. There, that's it then for knitting and the Little Maker's highlight, and off we go into Layercake, looking at the new Layercake Playsuit Colours, the silver sparkle shawl as well as wrap, and now not just love top but also love tunic, and last but not least some limited editions scarves for this autumn. I hope you enjoy them. Layercake Playsuits in new colours and the sparkle tunic. But what have I got here, and what am I wearing on top of my playsuit? It is a duster in the medium length in the large new check. And it's just to show you, to gather your interest and ask if you are interested in me doing dusters in the large new check. And if so, are you desperate to have one before Christmas, or can it wait? Let me know. And now, without further ado, the playsuits, how to style them, show you a couple of the shawls, not all of them because part of them have sold out already, as well as the sparkle tunic. Here we go. Of course, the sparkle tunic with its subtle shimmer and soft colours goes beautifully with the large new check playsuit. I'm wearing here a size 1 over a size 1 playsuit to give you an idea of how they go together. And of course, instead of underneath, you can also wear it over the top. Let me show you. There, what a difference, right? Just putting the tunic over the top of the playsuit. Of course, the playsuit plays more of a second fiddle in this outfit rather than being the main attraction, and instead we get a little bit more emphasis on that sparkle. Quite a different outfit, I think, and potentially daytime with the playsuit on the outside, and then evening swap them around and have a bit more sparkle on show. Of course, one thing that I can easily add to this, if you want a little bit more going on, is the sparkle shawl that kind of goes with it, made out of the same linen. Let me show you. So here it is. This is the smaller one that I've introduced, more of a standard shawl length, 1.90 meters long and 70 centimeters wide, exactly the same size as the seasonal shawls that I've added to the website in the run-up. I'll show you 2 of them. The others have already sold out. I'll try and get some more of them. That's the faded sparkle and the stripes that went really quickly. So if I can get some more stock, I will. And if I know before I'm publishing this episode, then I'll tell you down here. If not, then I do apologize for them selling out so quickly. I had no idea what the demand for them was. However, the sparkle shawl and the sparkle wrap, there'll be plenty of those available. And of course, to go with your sparkle top out of that same linen, so they can go in the washing machine and they come out lovely. But let me keep going and building on this outfit with the beautiful large new check linen of the Playsuit. Here we go. One of my firm favorites to go with the large new check is our steel herringbone. And this is the steel herringbone lined, or the other side because it's a double-sided jacket, with the natural linen in the Joy jacket. As you can see, the Joy jacket is slightly shorter than the Sparkle Love Tunic. So if you don't like this kind of layering, then go for the Love top underneath this jacket instead. But of course, the other thing I can show you is the reverse, which is undyed linen without sparkle, whereas the Love Tunic that I'm wearing is undyed linen with sparkle. So it's an interesting alternative wearing the jacket the other way around like this, where all of a sudden that linen that steel of the herringbone linen is the lining, and the natural undyed linen plays a bigger role. Again, different look, just making that very simple change, and of course they go beautifully with the large new check for the Playsuit. Subtle, but of course it doesn't have to be subtle. I chose those light colors to pick up on the light colors in this Playsuit, but instead you can pick up on the darker colors or go bright, because it may not be your first choice, but some of our brights go beautifully with the large new check. I'll show you one now. Look at this. A chartreuse shirt worn under the large new check Playsuit. I think it's one of those combinations that I find really exciting, because there's nothing, these colors have nothing to do with each other really, apart from the fact that they don't clash, but you know, so because they don't clash, great, they'll go nicely. And worn underneath, again, the Playsuit is playing a major role, but because of that bright color of the chartreuse shirt, that's quite present as well. However, they don't fight with each other. They don't vie for attention. They just look like a really exciting and nice combination of garments. Now, of course, I can do the same thing again. I can wear the shirt on the outside of the Playsuit, and then I'm going to combine it with the silver sparkle tunic, because I want to show you how the length of the shirt and the length of the tunic compare with each other. But I also want to show you that those chartreuse parts of the shirt that would still be showing can just be kind of a signature accent to the rest of the outfit, with the rest of the outfit calmed down and the chartreuse pushed back a little bit, but adding a bit of sparkle on top. Let's see how that works. Is it all too much? I think we can get away with it. You be the judge. So, step one, chartreuse shirt on the outside of the large new check Playsuit. And now, step two, the sparkle tunic added. And what I noticed is I see a tiny bit of chartreuse here in the back from the shirt, but not in the front. So the shirt is slightly shorter than the tunic in the front and slightly longer than the tunic in the back. I think this is really nice. I love the fact that I still have the chartreuse accents here. I've got the calmness, but still nice presence with those checks of the large new check. Almost baggies with this Playsuit. The trousers underneath, or perceived trousers, and then the subtle sparkle, which brings back the color from the large new check on top. I think it's time for a different Playsuit color. What do we think? Let's have a go. And here's an emerald Playsuit in a size 2 medium length. I was wearing a size 1 in the long length of the large new check playsuit. This is a size 2 in the medium length, which arguably is almost a better fit on me now, because the size 1, I can still about get away with it, but it's a little bit tighter because I've grown bigger. And the size 2 in the medium length just gives me lots of extra space again, lots of extra wriggle room. It's not all that fitted around my boobs anymore, but that also just makes it more comfortable. It means that if I sit down and bits of me spread out, I don't completely fill the fabric straight away. You know that feeling? So it just makes me less self-conscious about my body, whether I'm happy with it or not. It just, you know, it's a very relaxing wear in a size 2 for me at the moment. So that was not actually the point that I was going to make. The main point is chartreuse and emerald together. Mwah! Lovely, lovely combination. And they form rather a nice backdrop to show you one of the seasonal shawls that I still have 2 of, I think. Let me grab you one and show you, because it's a clanger of a color. It's beautifully bright. I love it. I'm surprised that they haven't gone first, but there you have it. I'll show you now. So rather than putting it on first, I thought actually I'll just show it out first. This is it. Multicolor, lovely brights. It gives the impression of being a patchwork shawl, and that impression is heightened by the fact that the squares, all the different colored squares, are all emphasized with a running stitch that is sewn in, hand sewn in, some of them in pink, some of them in red, by hand with wool thread. It is amazing, really amazing for a store-bought shawl that you haven't made or embellished yourself, to have these kind of details on them, I think is wonderful. Here we go. Let me see. Is that looking half decent? Yeah. Can wear it, of course, like this. Can pop my collar of my shirt on the outside like that, nice and warm around my neck if the weather asks you to keep warm and you feel a little bit chilly. We're into the chilly evenings at the moment, so this is a lovely way to bring some warmth up to your neck without changing any of the linen that you're wearing. Of course, you can wear it more loosely as well. You can just go for a single wrap around and do something like this, for example. I'll put my collar on the inside rather than the outside, the collar of my shirt, show you that look. Make sure that I don't rock up the shirt completely around my neck. There we are, that's better. Like this. So, of course, these bright colors go beautifully. I mean, the yellow in the shawl is almost the chartreuse. It's slightly less green, but it's very, very close. And then the green in here is virtually identical to the emerald. So it's a wonderful combination with colors like this. But of course, you can take it in different directions. So I'll show you more in a minute with some of the other colors. Let me take you on to the next look. Quite a good example of how changing one garment in the outfit can have quite an impact. I've taken the chartreuse shirt off and I've replaced it with a black anytime top. I think it might be a size 2. This is it 1 or 2? Yeah, it's a size 2. So nice and roomy, nice and loose, but still with those fitted sleeves. So it's not fitted anywhere on my body except for the lower arms, though it's not so tight that I can't pull it up and wear it as a 3/4 sleeve like this. But what a difference, eh? So if I now lose the shawl, then of course the whole outfit calms down. and can be changed into a bit more of a festive outfit relatively easily. Step one is taken. I could add something else in black or in more of a monochrome look. Well, why don't I show you? So here's one of our festive dusters, as we call them, in the Mercury colorway. These little woven in dots always remind me of champagne bubbles. That's why we called it the festive duster. It's a double-sided fabric, but the duster itself is not lined. However, we finished it in such a way that it's really nice to show off the inside. You don't get a lot of raw seams with that silvery inside and then the black and silver on the outside. I can then of course drop my sleeves again if I want to show off a bit more of the black of the top underneath, or alternatively I can rock them up, pull them up. I can even leave out this shirt altogether and just have the playsuit with the duster over the top. Of course, the playsuit has the super low armholes. So, however, if I don't take the duster off and I keep it on for an evening do, for example, and you know you're going to get too warm, then just wear the playsuit with the duster over the top. Nobody will see in here, but you'll have a very, very pretty and very festive outfit on. Pair of heels rather than my little shoesies. I don't know whether you noticed I was wearing a pair of very different shoes. They're almost like men's shoes. They're like lace shoes, very lovely for the winter. That I was wearing with the playsuit with a large new check. But then I thought, well, with the shorter playsuit, let me just go back to my little shoes that are easy to change when I'm changing outfits. But anyway, I digress. If I would wear some tights with this, for example, in these kind of shoes, of course, if I'm not comfortable wearing just a bra and nothing else underneath, I could wear like a black bodysuit underneath here, something lacy potentially, and then have a very festive outfit like this. I will show this duster again later on as well, but let's get moving forward with some other outfits with the emerald. For those of you who are into your blues and greens, here is the Jan jacket in teal sky, and the facings and lining of the cuff of the sleeves is in deep sea. So you get a tealy dark green, a proper blue, and then the green of the emerald playsuit. I think it's a great combination and a really nice backdrop for me to show you the second of the autumn scarves that I want to show you with a couple of different outfits, because I am amazed that this wasn't the first one to sell out, and I'll show you why. The only thing I can think of is that I must have done a bad job photographing this on the website, because I mean, come on, look at this. So the shawl itself is like a sea green almost, like a pale blue, and then it's got leaves and flowers on it in different colors, blue and grey. And then those have been outlined in a variegated chunky wool. The result of that chunky wool is that you get these little nubs of wool that lie on top of the rest of the shawl, almost like little jewels, and they really pop in terms of color. So with that size, that 70 by 190, and the little fringe on all sides, you have a really generous size like I did before, that you can just wear around your neck like this. Of course, you can tuck it in more. You don't have to have the ends hanging out. You can just keep going and like such, tucking them in underneath. Put this in the playsuit, for example, so that you can see the rest of the outfit. You get that elongated effect, but you still, again, have that really coziness around your neck. of the shawl. And those little different colors of popping out and making the whole outfit look really interesting and pulling it all together. What do we think? I mean, I see here even the color, the exact color of the Playsuit. There are lots of colors in there. So this is another one where you can wear it with lots of different layer cakes that you already have, and you'll find colors that it goes with. I bet that this is an amazing combination with the large bright check that we had throughout the summer, because of course a lot of those bright colors are in those bright variegated woolly nubs that have been stitched throughout the shawl. But I won't get stuck on the shawls completely. There's a lot more to show you. So let's move on to the next color of the Playsuits. Here comes Cinnamon. 1 petite is the length of this Playsuit. So you can see what a 1 petite does in length on my 5'10" height. Quite a different look. It's almost like a dress length rather than, you know, trouser length. But in the summer, for example, great length to wear. And here I'm just showing it to you as a different length. It's not a length that I would personally choose for the winter because I like to be covered more, but I'm illustrating the color here more than anything else. So, Cinnamon, and look, in combination with this Jan jacket and this shawl, you can immediately see that the color of the Playsuit is coming back in the nubs and the colorings of the shawl. So beautiful combination. Quickly taking it off because I'm absolutely melting with it on in the lights of the video camera. But look at that. Wonderful combination. Let me show you some more with the Cinnamon Playsuit, because of course that is no less suitable for some festive wear if you were that way inclined. I know that the entire episode is not about festive wear, but if, like me, you're already starting to think ahead, like, what do I want to wear this year? What can I play dress up with this time? Then you may want to keep that in mind with the garments that you're purchasing this autumn. Let me show you a different look for this Playsuit. I'll make it longer, but I can combine it with different colors, of course. So here is the Jan jacket in Magpie, lined with black. And that Magpie jacket, I don't know whether you recognize it in combination with this Cinnamon Playsuit, but I think it almost looks like a dinner jacket. I will actually do it up. To show you the difference of it done up rather than just open. I think it's a wonderful color, and of course the Jan jacket does have pockets, and then that really tapered line down to the bottom. A beautiful alternative to a more formal jacket for the holiday season. But of course it can be dressed down as well. I can grab that same shawl again. And it immediately jumps out that the shawl is reflecting the colors of the Playsuit with the orangey kind of wool, and then the darker colors in the print of the leaves, of course, is picked up beautifully by the jacket. So by just adding the shawl and making those lines a little bit less formal and removing that reminiscence of a dinner jacket, it makes this jacket a really versatile option as well. Lots of possibilities of day to evening wear. And but let's keep going. That was a Jan jacket, and maybe this Jan jacket is not for you, so let me change this and replace it with a duster, and a relatively plain colored duster, a more everyday colored duster. Here it comes. So the blue short duster, and the other thing that I changed is instead of the black anytime top, I'm wearing the grey anytime top underneath to lighten up the whole outfit. And of course the whole thing is very clean lines, very simple, very plain. And then we can of course pull it all back together again with, because those colours are all represented, with a shawl or a scarf, and dress up the whole outfit again. You could also, of course, just wear a necklace or something to create a focal point should you want to. But you can also choose to keep it all very simple and very plain and just go for colours that like each other a lot, like this beautiful cinnamon colour next to the blue. So moving on from there, and enough of the shawl. Let's keep going. What I wanted to show you is, again, the sizing. Let me put this down. Because what I'm wearing here is a size 1 petite in the Playsuit, but I'm wearing a size 2 anytime top. The black that I had on was a size 2, and this is a size 2 as well. And you can see that the low cutouts of the armholes are exactly doing what we intend them to do. They accommodate a wider armhole and a wider sleeve line on the top without bunching everything up and make it look too squishy and uncomfortable. All of this means that despite the fact that this is a fitted bust on me, I can wear a wider top underneath and they look great together. They don't look uncomfortable or bunched, and they don't feel uncomfortable or bunched either. So on to the next one. I think we've got 2 more colors to go. Looking for lilac and of course the new pistachio. Let's bring in some lilac first. Looking for lilac Playsuit with a joy jacket, undyed side out, and the pansy herringbone on the inside. As you can see, the pansy herringbone is a virtual match for the Looking for Lilac linen, and worn like this, it's a lovely combination. I'm wearing the sleeves down. Of course, I can then roll them up to show you peeps of purple if that's what you prefer, but it can also just be hidden, and the emphasis is then on the fact that it's a very neutral color and bringing back the neutral color of the grey anytime top that I'm wearing underneath. So looking for lilac Playsuit, let's bring in some contrast. Of course, contrast does not necessarily mean other bright colors. Contrast can also be light and dark, or bright and more neutral, like our other festive duster in this beautiful kind of champagne-y colorway. Can you tell I'm in the mood for champagne? I'm always in the mood for champagne. Still, let's bring in the sparkly shawl, because I'm quite curious to see how that goes with the grey anytime top and this lighter colored duster against the backdrop of the lilac Playsuit. Let's see. And here it is. It's actually much closer to the color of the duster than it is to the anytime top. Of course, I should realize this because the duster is undyed linen and white, linen white, so it's not optic white. And of course, the sparkle has got the undyed linen in it as well, and then with the silver. So this is undyed and white, and that is this undyed and silver. So I think it's a lovely combination. Oh, interesting way of putting your shawl on, if you don't know. Start with one end, not too long, go round your neck. Then grab this end without pulling it through and weave that end through it. So you create a crossover, a fold over here, and it's a way of bringing those two ends together. This cannot fly off my shoulders anymore without tying a knot and creating quite a bunchy knot in front of me. Sometimes you want that, but if you don't want that, then go for this kind of weave, for want of a better word. It can't go anywhere, it won't move, it can stay on you all day like that. I've got the warmth of the linen around my neck, but I don't have ends flapping about. It ends up pulling it, keeping it nice and down. So I'll show that to you again. So you literally just put it around your neck, keep this one end hanging down to about your stomach, loosely put it around your neck for a second time with some space, then use that space to pull this end through without flipping it through. Just pull it up and use that almost as if you were putting a belt through a loop. Pull it through, then pull these down, and there we are. I hope that was a useful tip. Okay, let's keep going. Contrast without more bright, but instead more festive. Let's see if I can wheedle out something else to go with this purple before we move to the last one, the pistachio, the new pistachio color. Here we go. Bit of an unsung hero. Our mini tabard hasn't had much love from me lately with all the other things that we've had going on. But here is a mini tabard in fig. It's a color that is available amongst the mini tabards without having to up to the my choice level. So as and when we try to add some stock, so they should hopefully be available from stock for you. If not, then of course we'll make one for you as soon as we can. At the moment we're running like 3 to 4 weeks for items that are not in stock. But right now, talking, first week of November, any order that you place for things that are not in stock and need to be made for you are still guaranteed to be shipped out in time for the festive season. So mini tabard in fig. And against the looking for lilac of the Playsuit. This mini tabard is a size 1, whereas my Playsuit is a size 2. So the armholes of the Playsuit dip down longer underneath my mini tabard than the armholes of the mini tabard. As you can see, the shoulder straps of the Playsuit are cut slightly wider than that of the mini tabard. That's on purpose, so that you can see the color contrast of the Playsuit underneath it, and you can make that little line where you can see a little bit of the Playsuit peeping out. The mini tabard is also cut in a way that it just about covers your hips and it covers your tummy in the front. So if you want the emphasis, even when you're wearing a Playsuit, if you want the emphasis away from that, then by wearing a little mini tabard, you create a different focal point in the whole outfit. And with this being a size 1 mini tabard over a size 2 Playsuit, even though I'm on the edge of a size 1 in terms of fit, this still fits comfortably. And that is because the mini tabards are cut ever so slightly more generous than the corresponding size of the Playsuits and the tunics, like the tabard and the smock. And that is specifically to make it easy to throw on a mini tabard over the top of the corresponding size of smock tabard or Playsuit without making it any tighter. So, what do we think? Shall I move on to the last Playsuit, pistachio, and maybe bring back this mini tabard, because pistachio and fig, pistachio ice cream and fig, the colors go really, really nicely. I'll show you. Pistachio and fig. Of course, they have a color in common. The pistachio is a cross weave of the gray that is in our charcoal. Charcoal is gray and black. Pistachio is gray and duck egg green or duck egg blue. And fig is that same gray and then in a cross weave with a mauvey purple. Oh goodness, I love this combination. The grey in the pistachio jumps out more when you see it right next to the fig. And I must say, it's a bit of a rediscovery of the mini tabard for me as well, this. Like I said, I just don't give them enough love, but especially over the top of a playsuit, they're really, really nice. And of course you can then make this a darker top and emphasize the darkness of the mini tabard with a darker top, rather than emphasizing the lightness of the playsuit that I'm doing right now with a lighter top. Let's keep playing and add a couple more colors to this before I sign off. Actually, let me grab that shawl again. I think it's my favorite, in all honesty. Because look, I mean, this is a complete match, isn't it? Of the background color of this shawl is pretty much pistachio. And then, oh gosh, the purple, of course, of fig is in here in abundance. Anyway, there she was again with the shawl. They may be gone by the time I've published this. Oh well, on to the next one. Here is a duster, a long duster, with ties in magenta to go with the pistachio. Keeping the colors light, and of course this can be no less festive than any of the other outfits that I've shown, despite of the lighter color combination, and this, depending on what color suits you and what you prefer wearing, I think this is a wonderful combination. Let me tie this up to show you what it looks like when you wear your duster closed in combination with the playsuit. So long duster, and of course if the long duster is too long for you, then go for that medium length, either with or without ties, and a shorter playsuit. But wonderful combination, wonderful outfit, and can be dressed up and down very easily. I won't grab that same shawl again. Should I grab the other one? No. Enough of the shawls. I am a very shawly person though. I am forever knitting them, constantly. I'm still working on the West Knits Mystery Knit Along, as you've already seen in the first part of the program. But I'll try and come up with one more outfit to go with this lovely playsuit, this pistachio playsuit, and then I'll sign off for this week because I think it's a bit of a monster session again. Back to the Jan jacket in Magpie. Of course, I had actually pre-planned that, but because I bring the different garments at different stages, I can't always remember exactly which sequence I had planned, and I almost forgot about this. But Magpie, which is of course this dark inky blue black, but the blue that's in the cross weave has got a tinge of green in it. And that combined with the duck egg of the pistachio, oh boy, I think they are stunning together. I've of course had to change back to the black anytime top to blend that in, to bring that in with the dark color of the Jan jacket. But I think this is a lovely combination. And it shows that you can wear the pistachio colorway with other light colors or with dark colors. You can pull it in different directions. It's a really nice neutral. It's a color, but because it's not a very bright color, you can pull it into different moods, if you like. So a duck egg blue, as neutral as a duck egg blue can be. Right, I'm going to leave it at this because this is a big episode again already. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I've inspired you. Of course, there are lots more combination and lots of different ways in which you can wear the garments that that I've shown you. I mean, just one example, the Sparkle tunic in combination with this lighter playsuit, for example. So the combinations are endless. I hope I've shown you enough though to inspire you, and I will sign off now and see you again soon.